What is going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to Embrace the Journey podcast. I am your host, Alexis Forteza. In today's podcast episode, I am rather excited. This one felt like more of a conversation than any single one of them I've had. I get the honor and pleasure to introduce to you all a good friend of mine, a friendship that I definitely prayed for a while. I call him Mykee. He goes by Mykee to me and a lot of other people, but it is the Mykee Woods that is joining us on today's episode. And he goes into detail about how he's inspired people through his running, through his weight loss, and just all the things that he sets for himself, all his goals kind of influence people, and I think he's starting to realize that now. I know he is. So again, we talk about all of the things that he does. He has a running community that he is a part of and that he does hold. It's called Run to the Word. Please go ahead and follow the page. All of the information is below in the information box here. But without me rambling on and doing all that, please give a warm welcome to my guest, my friend, Mykee Woods. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to have one of my friends, my good friend, Mykee Woods. How are you?
Hi, Alexi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. So let me give you all a little backstory. How me and I call him Mykee. So if you hear me say Mykee, that's why.
That's fine.
That's why. So it was about almost coming up on a year ago. I joined the local running crew here, which is called ZFT Dallas. And I believe it was February 22nd, if I'm correct.
That's when you came.
That's when I came on. And about a week later, I see Mykee, fresh, new. I said, this is a new face. Who is this? Right? He was minding his business, y'all. So I didn't say hi to him, nothing, but I just knew somewhere along the lines, I'm like, he's going to be my friend. And here we are today. So he is a wonderful person. He has, through his running journey, he has developed a kind of an extension, I want to say, his own thing. It's called Run to the Word, where Mykee makes a little bit of Bible, a little bit of running, and you out. So what do you want to share with the people? Where do you want to start?
Okay, yeah. I love that you brought up Run to the Word. That is kind of been like my baby that got started with us. So, we got started with that. It was four of us actually. We just was getting together for a 2 Mile Tuesday. And we did our normal thing, did our 2 miles, and then it was like life just happened and conversation just opened up. And Lexi was like, we got to do something with this. So I was like, well, if y'all do something, put it together and let me know, I'll come. And she was like, no, this is you who put it together. You got us out here. So this is on you. And so from there, it just kind of, I was like, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with it, but it just came to me, and I was like, run to the word, run to the word. And so I just started getting the word out. Put an IG page up. Started just planning to get together for a 2 Mile Tuesday walks and seeing who all would show up. So that's kind of how we got that going. But what Runs to the Word is, it's like a walking devotional, if you will. We get together at the park, we'll pray, we will have a quick motivational devotional from scripture, from the Bible, or something like that. And then we will get to our 2 miles, whether walking or running. I've seen upwards of 30 to 40 folks come out, and folks are running, some are walking, some have their kids in strollers, some are walking and singing, some are walking and praying. For some, it's their moment of solitude and quiet and peace. And I don't take it for granted that this may be the only opportunity that they have for the week just to get some quiet. So I don't dominate the space too much. I do just enough, and then we let the Lord and the walking and running do everything else.
Right.
So we'll be starting that back up this year. So the IG page is at run the number two the word RUN2THEWORD.
And don't even worry. I will have that all below, so people won't
Thank
have
you.
an excuse to not follow. And let me just tell y'all, like he said, it was literally, this started with four of us. And we were just doing, like you said, a simple 2 mile, little walk, little jog, little thing. Then, in very per Mike fashion, he was like, I mean, you guys can do something. And that's when I said, no, this is yours. I'm going
Yeah.
to need you to take the lead because you have a gift of mixing a little bit of word and a little bit of running. And we get out in there. Y'all, it is not a regular Sunday where we are not there that long. He got maybe what, a 10, maybe 10, 15-minute word. We do what we
Yeah.
do and we out. And I have personally witnessed it grow and people get affected by it. I mean, you have to feel very, very special when people are messaging you and like saying, thank you. I really needed that this evening. Like, I think that's what it's all about, you know?
Agreed. Yeah. I think we definitely have a good thing going when it comes to that. I enjoy our community of people. It is not like it's not a regular run club. It is not a regular, um, environment like that. This is not the space where you're coming to be a better runner. This is not the space where you're necessarily coming to get ready for your marathons and stuff like that. What Run to the Word offers, we offer Jesus and we offer community and we
Period.
offer getting everybody who comes out, you walking, you running, you doing something. How much is on you? Whether it's half a mile, 2 miles, if your heart desires to walk until you can walk no more, that's your business. Now, we won't be out there with you if you decide to walk until you can walk no more. We're only together for about an hour and a half, but it's on you. The space is just really open. Um, the environment is really conducive for a peaceful atmosphere with the water in the backdrop. Um, they do got a lot of construction out there, but it's nice to see stuff being built,
Yeah.
something new, something fresh.
Thank
So
you.
that's what Run to the Word is. Now there are other spaces where you can go develop and um, run your fastest mile and develop for your marathons and events like that. There are a lot of other spaces throughout Dallas. But with Run to the Word, we rock with Jesus and we walk it out. That's what we got.
A period. And there is
Mhm.
something very special about the water. If you guys, I do help him with the posters. That's all I do. I don't preach the
Yes.
word though.
Should be speaking soon.
Y'all, he's really gonna have me speak one day. I know he is.
I
So
am.
the location that we do with that we hold this um particular like 2 Mile Tuesday, it's very peaceful. The water's there. I love it. And what I love is because I mean I'm kind of have like the outside view looking in and I'm just like, you inspire more people than I think that you realize.
I've
And I
heard that a few times.
yeah. And I need you to own that. Like as your friend, like and I know I want you to talk about it too, like your whole running journey because I know when you started with the running club, you probably weren't expecting to start runs the word. So
No, I was not.
you're like, nope.
Mm, No, I didn't see Run to the World. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming when I first came about.
Because you started. So if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. You started coming to ZFT. Was it a month after your surgery?
Yes, it was a month after I had the weight loss surgery. So I started coming, and I was just walking.
You were with your headphones, honey.
Yep. With the headphones, I was just walking. I just wanted to, get out there and just walk. Because one of the things that they had told us was going to be essential to our well being was making sure that you get out there and get active. Because a lot of people think that just because you have a weight loss surgery, that's all you have to do and everything will magically happen. And that is not true. That is far from the truth. You actually have to put in your work. The surgery is really just a tool to help you do what you're not able to do on your own. So I got out there. I was walking because it wasn't at a point where I could lift weights. So that's how I found ZFT because there was another coworker of mine who was going at the time. And she told me about it, and I was like, "I'll go." I was like, "Since I'm off work for a little bit, I say I'll come out and check it out."
And now look.
And it just took off from there.
It did. And let me tell y'all, when I saw him, he was minding his business. He was like, "Please do not wait for me," because the run club that we are a part of, it's a wonderful community where they will wait to the last
Yeah,
person, right?
it
Because we're
really
an official run club. And I will
yeah.
never forget Mykie's like, "Y'all don't wait for me, please." I
Yes, I didn't need all that.
And what did we do? We waited for him
They
because
were there. They were there waiting. They really do wait for everyone. So shameless plug for ZFT. They will wait for you.
yes,
So everybody matters. Who comes out, whether you're walking, running, or jogging, everybody does matter. That is true. A
very true.
hundred, 1,000% true.
So, being on your running journey, because I know you have run before, this time around, what is some of the things that you've learned while being on this journey about yourself?
Well, you know what? Leading up to this, so this round in my running journey is actually my second round in over 10 years. So I started running back in 2010. Um, and what got me started was somebody had like made a bet. It was like, I bet you can't run a half marathon. And I was like, I'm not backing down from no challenge. I don't care how big or how small I am. I don't back down from challenge, especially when there's cash on the other side of that challenge. So I was like, yeah. So I started getting ready. Honestly, I had like all of the trackers that are out now, all of the tools and tips and research that I know now, I had no idea about what that was back then. So I'm just up there just trying to get used to being on my feet that long, and that's all I got. I don't know anything about salt sticks or energy gels and tabs and hydration. I don't know
None of
nothing
that.
about that. So when I went out to my first half marathon, I didn't even have a bag with me. The only thing I had was my car keys, my phone, and my iPod, and that was it. And I relied on the water stations for water.
Wow.
And so, and for the most part, it was a walk. It was a walk that did a little walk jog type thing, but it was brutal. It was really rough. Like after I got to like the seventh mile, I was like, oh my gosh, there's still more to go.
You're like, "Oh, wait,
So they,
I got 13 miles to
yeah,
go."
yeah, there was like six more to go. And then I was moving slower than what I had planned. And so they was like, well, we're going to have to open up the roads soon and X, Y, and Z. And I was like, well, I will get in the little van to the starting line with you if you have my $100 fee in the car. So I was like, if you have my registration fee in the car, I will leave this now and ride with you back to wherever you said we started from, because that's what it will be. If you have my registration fee in the car, I will go with you. And it was like, we don't have it. And I was like, well, the sidewalks will do. So once they opened the streets back up, I finished on the sidewalks and everything else. And once I got done, I mean, there was still a lot of people out there because it wasn't just me. That was like one of the last ones. There was quite a few people that finished. So I think it took me like 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow. That's People don't
Yeah,
realize
so
that long on your feet, it'll get you. It will.
hmm hmm and so that was that first time, and then I couldn't walk for like almost a week. I was like crawling everywhere I went. It was so much pain. I knew nothing about a restore wellness, knew nothing about a recovery, nothing about a compression, nothing.
Right.
I was just in bed with leg cramps, could barely walk. It was awful.
Mm.
I took time off work and everything. But then after that, I was like, okay, I started to do some more research and get some more education about what I'm doing. So I started building from there. But after I moved from Ohio to Dallas, um, I got lazy because when I was in Ohio, I wasn't making money like that. And when I say making money, it's not like I'm this millionaire, billionaire now. But there's been an increase that I've been able to see just with, change relocating and things like that. So I got here, things are better. Um, so I'm out eating, drinking, partying, every
Living it
week.
up.
So it's just like all of that is just adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up. The pounds are adding up, adding up, adding up. And I'm going into my 30s now. So at the time, I'm like, I'm about to be 30. And things really do change when you're 30. Like the way of which you can run maybe 5 miles and drop 10 pounds by the end of it, you know, being in your 30s, it's a bit more challenging. So that's why I needed to get that help of that weight loss surgery. And that's what I did. And so just to, I guess, to kind of bring y'all up to speed about who I am from Ohio, one. Was born and raised in Columbus. Um, I went to the Ohio State University. So if you know about the football and the Buckeyes, that's me. That's my school.
Serious news.
Um, Yeah, yeah, it's a serious thing. So, and I have some background in music too. I'm a background singer. I enjoy that. It's a gift, but it's also like a hobby to me. I don't necessarily need to be like a music artist or anything like that. I've had some studio experience. There's a couple artists out that have me on their records as a background singer, so that's pretty cool.
I
But
didn't.
yeah, and when I came to Dallas, I was able to get connected with a guy here named Saul Gates. He's connected with a artist by the name of Sean Martin, who is a part of the group called Snarky Puppy, and also has worked with Kirk Franklin for years. And so I was able to have a recording job with them in 2020, and the project was Grammy nominated. The artist, her name was Rebecca Folsom. The music video's out. The song is out on iTunes, and she listed all of us on her Grammy nomination. So you're talking to somebody.
Ooh.
I know. I was like, I forgot about that experience that I've had here. I was like, oh, I also was able to come to Dallas and get a Grammy nomination too. I don't think we won, but still, to be nominated is pretty
Cool.
cool. Yeah, I was like, the nomination is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I remember when they text us about the emails that were coming out about it and the ways of which it was showing up on the website so that people can vote and all this stuff. So I was like, this is a lot going on. But I was like, it's pretty cool. But in the midst of all that, I was still, celebrating and the way it's just adding on and adding on and adding on. So I had to undo all of that starting in
Mhm.
2022. I just hit a breaking point and I was like, we gotta undo it. So once I saw that scale say 447, I was like, it's a lot going on. Gotta undo it.
Lord help us. Like it's like, oh,
Yeah. I was like, it's a lot going on. So I started doing little stuff myself, and then I got connected with the group at Baylor. They took really good care of me. And I had surgery last February, and I've lost 200 pounds.
which is a human. It's like that could be two
It's a
humans.
human. It can be.
Let me tell y'all too. Like every time I see Mykee in person, I feel like he gets smaller. It's amazing.
Everybody, everybody says that. There's a lot of people that say, every time I see you, you look like you're 30 pounds lighter. I was like, I like that.
I'm just like, and me and you have the same pace now. Mind you, I've gotten a little slower just because I haven't been running as much, but I'm like, okay, I gotta get my stuff together. I said, we're at the same pace now. It's just amazing.
There is nothing wrong with being a 12-minute mile, 13-minute mile
Hey,
pace. There's nothing wrong.
period. Wow.
We get the races done, we get them done in a reasonable amount of time, and we don't die and pass out at the end. There's nothing wrong with that.
That part. Yes. Because I'm pretty sure you could probably remember, like, I know when I first started doing my running, my first few 5Ks, I was dead. Like, I couldn't even. Now I'm just like, okay, I can do a 5K and I can go have some brunch afterwards. Might run an errand or two. We're doing better.
Hmm.
That's how you know that you're like kind of
Yeah,
getting better at it, you know?
yeah, absolutely. Because yesterday, like, even though after the race we had yesterday, I was like, I came home and it was like, jumped in the shower, got ready, and went back out and had stuff to do for my birthday. And I was like, I was really out like the rest of the day until like 8 or 9 o'clock because I was like, that's enough.
That's enough.
Like
Time to
you did run a race this morning and we had to be there early. So I was like, that's enough. You've been up long enough. So go home and go to bed.
Yeah. I mean, you did celebrate a birthday. I mean, you're probably still
It's
celebrating because you know how birthdays, they're the whole month, honey.
almost all month long.
What are you wishing now in your 36th year of life? You're 200 pounds
Yeah.
lighter. You're about to do your second half marathon in Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you looking forward to in this new chapter?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to not just staying in my lane, but I want to do like the best I can in my lane. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
the things that are for me, the things that I'm doing, I want to, make sure I give it the best that I can give it for myself. So if it looks like, because now I'm going through where I'm lifting heavier in the gym now to feel something. So I'm like, if I got to increase increase the resistance to bring out the best in me, I'm looking forward to doing whatever it is that brings out the best in me in my lane. I don't feel like I'm competing with anyone except myself.
Mm.
And I feel like for the things that I may have written down or said to myself that I want to do, I want to make sure I, at least get started on them if I'm not already started. And if I have started, I want to finish it.
Yeah.
So it's me versus me, it's me for me. Um, that's where I am. So, and then along the way, I'm pretty sure, and because it's already happened, but I want to keep. I like inspiring people. It does feel good to hear that I've been pretty inspirational and influential in a lot of people's fitness journeys and getting them from the couch to the park. So, or from the couch to the gym or whatever they want to do. I did not necessarily start out to be a role model, but I like that somebody has been able to catch the wave and be inspired.
I think that's when you
That
know
I do.
you're living in purpose, you know?
I think so. I think so. I think I would have to agree with you. And who would have thought that, running would be a way that I find a sense of purpose? But it kind of has been that. Um, and it's funny because in my younger years, I was the person who hated gym class. I was like, what do I need to keep a good grade in this class? I was like, you have to dress up at least 3 times a week. So I would probably dress up on like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the days when nobody cared. But Thursday and Friday going into the weekend, I was like, I've been to the barbershop. My hair is cute. It is what it is.
Not getting this sweaty, honey. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not getting it sweaty today. Sorry. And
Wow.
plus, I don't like to be dirty either. So that was really rough. That was really rough for me back then because I do not like being dirty. Like, I don't even like to go to the races dirty. Like, everybody knows that I smell good when I come to the races.
Period. He does, y'all. Like, when I tell you he smells good, like we had a race in December and you did a half marathon in December. Honey, like
Yeah,
he came through the finish line, gave us a hug, and I said, "You smell wonderful after doing a half marathon."
I know. I feel like that's part of the Mykee experience.
It
I feel like
is.
that's what makes it. I feel like that's what makes it unique to me. Like, that once I finish, I'm going to smell great.
I was like,
Or at least close to great as possible. Because sometimes in that Texas heat, it really works against me. But I've been mixing and matching these potions a little bit better so I know how to handle that heat.
listen, y'all, whoever, like, from my listeners, please go follow his actual IG as well. This man does
Yes,
not just
B1 Mr. Mike.
Yes, he doesn't just give you, encouragement through the word, he also helps you with your cologne and perfume choices. I mean, dating advice. You give some wonderful advice. Let me tell you.
I do not give that. I do not give dating advice.
I coined it as dating advice.
I do
So
not give dating advice. I post and make comments about what I see from other people giving dating advice, and if I can like match their energy when it comes to that. And a lot of times I cannot. I'm like, I don't know where they got this from. Like, for a while we were going through that. I don't know if they're still saying it because now everybody is saying stand on business. But remember when it was that time where everybody was like, be his peace, be her peace, and all that.
yes. Mm,
So yeah, I was like, when I was hearing that every time you turn around, I was like, I just feel ways about this be his peace and be her peace because I'm like, one, peace is a fruit of God's spirit.
mm,
It's
come
in,
on.
Galatians chapter 5. And I was like, you have the capability to obtain peace yourself because it's a fruit of God's spirit. So why? Now the Bible does say to do your best in Romans 13. I want to say it's either 12 or 13. One of them. Go find it. Read the whole Bible. Read it. But
Literally. You'll find wonderful
but
advice.
Romans does say as best it can be, or as best as your ability, live at peace with everyone. It does say that. Now you shouldn't be out here causing drama and causing ruckus and all of that. But it says live at peace. It don't say be at peace. So I couldn't get with that. But I just make little funny videos about what I see and all of
They're
that.
wonderful. And that's why I
They
say
are.
they're great. And it's your twist on some of the foolish, because some of the advice out there is a little foolish.
It is a
And
little foolish out there.
one thing about you, and I love, is you have scripture for everything. I, as a believer myself, when I tell y'all, I am thoroughly amused, and you feel like, that's why I'm like, that's a really good. Okay, Mike, I see what you're saying, because you're right. There's some there's some stuff I hear that we need to address sometimes, and you do it very well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But where that stems from is like I've read the Bible from cover to cover like 3 or 4 times in my life now.
Oh wow.
And it's taken a year to do it each time. And the character that is before you today wasn't always the best character, but I still chose to read. You know what I'm saying? So there was a time when I was the first round that I read it, I was still a pretty angry person. It was pre-therapy. It was pre all of the things that we know today. So my reading time was my reading time. It was where I found peace. It was, So if you was bothering me during my reading time, I was cussing you out. I was.
Hey, the Lord meets you right where you are, honey.
He met me where I was at. And so he knew to make sure that folks knew not to call or bother me while I was reading. So there would be little things that I would discover each time that I would read the Bible through and through. And then it would be like, oh, I remember I read that. Where did I see it? And then I'd be able to go back and find it. So that's kind of how that has happened. And that's kind of that, because I know I get on y'all's nerves. I know I do.
I love it. I'm here for
I
it.
am well aware that I get on. I know I get on y'all's nerves.
I love it
I'm well aware
because, and
because
I love it because,
we'll be out at the randomest times. We'll be out at the bar, and I'm like, no, the Bible doesn't say that. Martini in hand.
hey, righteous and a little bit of ratchet. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
gotta. But I love it, and I'm here for it because you are very real about who you are right now. But you're like, but wait, honey, there is a book that you can go read, and this is what it says.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. That's what I do, and I recognize that I get on people's nerves, and it's not. I'm not the Bible thumper like how you see the people that'll be in the streets like trying to
Yeah, no.
pray and cast you. And I'm like, no, it's just that when folks say something crazy, I'm like, no, it don't quite say that. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's not quite right.
you gently
That's not what
correct.
that means. Yeah.
You gently correct. No, I love it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. So we always end up having a unique experience when it comes to that.
We really do. I mean, anytime I've been out with you, you really somewhere somehow we end up on the word. It's like you right. That's what it says. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Got it.
even even down to my birthday dinner Friday, I feel like we still had a moment.
We did. Y'all are really witnessing these. We are actual friends, so we're just like we're literally we're friends.
Yeah.
It's I love it. I'm here for it. And I one thing I do want you to do now in your new year of 36, I want you to know
Okay.
that you really are you are someone that influences people. Um from me and I know there's numerous others. You really I know you be in your lane, you'd be doing Mykee, you be doing what you got to do, you be setting goals for yourself, but it really does
I
touch
do.
everybody. It does.
And I receive that. I embrace that. And you know what? I'm just gonna keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? At
Just
first
keep
I was
doing
like,
it
yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. Yeah,
because
I'm just gonna keep at it.
it really is inspirational because I follow so if you are part of the running community, you either have Adidas or Strava or whatever one of those apps. And no lie, like sometimes you go live at like 2 o'clock and I'm like, you know what? I need to get my butt up and do something. Yeah, okay. If Mikey's going live, he's doing something. Let me get myself together. Like it's little stuff like that I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let me get myself together here. Because yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? But and I do that because I see other people, out there, and I was like, I could do a little something today. So I feel like it's kind of like a revolving thing. Like I'll see somebody, then I'll go do something, and somebody else will see me do something, and you'll go do. So I feel like it's kind of like that wheel, if you
Yeah.
will.
I think the with the running joining a community like this, like we've said before, it's almost like you accelerate your friendships because I have seen Mykee see me, and I've seen him and other people in the group. We've seen each other at our legit quote unquote fitness worst, sweaty, tired, struggling, and there's something about the running community that I feel like I know you or have known you for like 10 years, but I haven't. And it's just because of that
Right.
running experience, how like we would get up, listen, because we live in Texas, we had to get up. What our run start at like 7 o'clock? No, 7, sometimes 6:30,
Sometimes it, yeah.
just to beat the heat, honey. You get a group of people to get up at that early with you, y'all are for life. Y'all are friends for life. I'll tell you that.
Or at least you will hope you be friend. At least for that season that you're in,
For that
you've
season.
developed a bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some that you develop those lifelong friendships. And I believe that I've developed and I'm in the process of developing some friendships that'll be lifelong. I do believe that I have that. Um and also with what we do, you're right. We have seen, especially if we have a friend or if one of us falls to like an injury, those
Yeah.
are very vulnerable
Yes.
where you just can't if I fall down and my foot is broken or whatever else, that's not a moment where you just be like, well, see you later. Friends are gonna help each other out. So we've had some of those vulnerable moments with each other. So I think that's what kind of helps build that community as well.
Yeah.
And then physically we've seen each other, like you said, at low moments, but a lot of times people are out there running because they may be experiencing a low moment mentally or something may be going on at home and this is their way of release. So you just never know what we're coming up against or across when we're out there. So it is definitely a space that I don't take it for granted. I do not take it for
Mhm.
granted at all when people show up because you just never know what they're showing up to deal with.
I mean, you really never know. Like it says, you don't judge a book by its cover.
Mhm.
I've heard so many stories of people here and there, right? And I'm like, wow, I would have never thought that person was struggling with said issue or, whatever it may be. And it's just like running has been, and I think not just running, I think any fitness community, a lot of people are gravitating towards that as a way of escaping, a healthy escape per se.
Yeah.
Um, and then boom. I mean, because I started, listen, last year I said, I'm just going to do one race. And now look at me. Now I'm like addicted to
You
it.
did a lot there.
I did. I average. It was almost like an average of a race a month, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, look at me. Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
it's I will warn those if you've never run before and you join a running community. I thought it was bluff. They're like, oh, you're gonna get addicted to it. I was like, me get addicted to running? Yeah, right. I hate running, right? You might get addicted, just saying a little bit.
Yeah. Because especially when you want to, like for me in my journey, I think what inspires many others and why it doesn't seem so big to me is because honestly, I'm just out here to see if I can actually do what my mind says I can do.
Come on now.
So that's what makes me show up every week because I want to, I actually want to see. I'm like, my mind says I can do this, so let me see if I can actually do this. So that's what makes me show up for myself week after week is to try to see if I'm right or wrong about what I think,
Mm. Do you think
which
running is more
is
mental or more physical?
I think it's a good mix of both.
Right. Because
I would say
I don't like when people are
I
like,
don't know
oh,
if
it's all
it's
mental. I'm like,
50.
no, baby, it's physical too, but
Yeah. I don't know if it's 50-50 or 60-40. I can't call that.
right,
But I do think that both play a good part in what we're doing.
right. I agree. Because I know, what was it? It was my first 10K. I was terrified. I was like, I've never gone this far. You know, how your mind makes these excuses of like, you've never done this. And then that day
Mhm.
I said, I chose in my mind, I said, well, we're just going to put one foot in front of the other, just like I do the other 3 miles.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I was like, I'm going to have to get back to the starting line at some point. So, and it was amazing to see that my mind, when I made a decision of like, I'm going to finish, I finished. And I was
Yeah.
like, look at that. Now I was sore for like a week after. My calves were like, girl.
Come
But
territory.
it's the mind, because one of my goals, I know you've hit this goal. So you've inspired me to do this year. But I
Hmm.
really want to do the whole loop around the lake here in Dallas. There's
Oh
a
yeah.
White Rock Lake, and it's 9 miles, and I've always wanted to loop it. So that's one of my goals this year, is to
It's, it's 9.3 miles
9.3.
from what that's what they always tell me. They was like, you owe some respect to the point three. So it's 9.3 from what
Point
I've been
three.
told.
Okay, got it. Point
I was just saying 9.2, but they was like, no, it's 9.3. I
A.
was like, okay.
That point, yet listen, I understand, because like you'd be like, oh, I'm done. No, baby, you got point 3 left. You're not done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know you had a full circle moment with that experience too. So
Hmm.
that's what inspired me.
Yeah. And to have done it twice. And when I first moved here, I went on a date at White Rock Lake when I first moved here. And I was out there, I was like, there's no way that I'll ever be able to like loop this whole lake, walking or running, any of that. And so to have done that, I think I did it twice last year.
Look at that.
That was that was pretty cool. That was
9.3. I might shed a tear.
hmm.
I might shed a tear the day I do it. I'm like, I did it.
Sometimes you do get emotional after that has happened to me before too. And usually I am a thug and don't really cry like that in front of people. So I usually have my moments to myself or if it gets me good in church. But I was like, I actually felt what they were saying. Well, I was like, I felt the emotion after I was done one time, and I was like, I gotta have a moment.
Aw. Yes, y'all. He is a thug. He don't. I don't. I don't think I'll ever catch him cry.
Not in person.
Not in person.
If you do, you've really done something. If you get me to crying, you've really done something.
I have. And I'm the emotional friend. But the funny thing is, no one see me cry, but I'm very emotional. Um. No, I love that. I love that. I just feel like your journey, and you're not even done. You just started. Like, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's how I feel too. I feel like I'm just getting like that good started. You know what I'm saying?
You just
Like so this year I was chosen for there's a running company here called Amped Running Company in Dallas, and they host race events too, just like how Run Project does. But I'm one of their ambassadors for 2024, and so what? Yesterday when we had the Hot Cake Hustle, initially I was like, just having folks come out there for my birthday, in which we had a really good turnout for my birthday. And until otherwise noted, that run was for my birthday. Like I'm claiming that the whole way. Like all of that, they was there
period.
for
It
me.
was.
Say what you want to say, do what you want to do. I know there were other January birthdays out there, but I was the focal point. Like they was like, "Where's Mykee? Where's Mykee? Where's Mykee?" There he is. There he. They was there for me, and I love that the whole way. And my friends are always telling me that I have a fan club, and I'm just like, I don't have a fan club. These people respect me. But yesterday I was like, they actually do like me. And I was like, I was able to I was like, it's more than just they respect me. Because for me, respect is the minimum bound. It's the minimum due. When I
Right.
look at my relationships, like if I had to compare it to like how we pay bills with regards to credit, respect is the minimum due per month. If you don't respect me, there's no need for us to be there. Like I feel like in my relationships, I at least have a ground respect for the person. Because if I don't have that ground respect for the person, we don't have anywhere else to go because there's the respect isn't there. So I love that the spaces that I'm in have respect for me, but I actually felt liked. I actually felt loved and embraced. And now with this ambassador business, and I'm just getting started. Now I'm seeing that I got support in other areas. So when I'm up here trying to leave one place, and it's like, oh no, you're Mike, you're one of us. Here's more ambassadors. You got to meet us and come on over. And I'm just like, I don't ran a race. I'm trying to get home, but let me stay over here and say, y'all.
You're like, oh wait.
so this, so this is going to be a fun year of new connections. This is going to be a fun year of pushing those limits, doing what my mind's actually doing what I believe can be done. It's going to be a lot of that. So,
I'm
yeah,
excited. I'm just gonna put it out there because I this is a moment, but you're doing the Chicago Marathon this year.
um,
How, hence why you just getting started because look at you, a whole marathon. Now
I,
how is that going? I mean, are you excited? I mean, you're gonna give them more details, but y'all, when I tell you when he got accepted and he posted it in the chat, I was like, this is your time. This is your time.
that's how I felt too.
It is.
That is precisely how I felt. And initially, I was the reason why I even signed up for this. Was because of you, and you've had an interview with them that the people are probably watching before this, but that Brittany
Yes.
Lemons Hall,
I love them. Yes.
she's the reason why. her in that vlog she has running with Brittany, and when she cornered me in the car in that episode, was like, "We're doing Chicago, we're doing Chicago, we're doing Chicago," and
She
like
spoke
I'm
it.
looking at her, yeah, and I'm looking at her on the video like.
She spoke it for you, honey. She said that was the
She
spirit.
did. She did. She really did. And I was like, I guess. I was like, I don't need to run. I was like, I don't have a need to run 26 miles. But then it was like, after our conversation, I was like, well, it does seem kind of interesting.
Not it. I love it. I could because you did not know, like we didn't hear anything. You're like, this wasn't like, guys, guess what? Like, I'm really excited to do this marathon. You were just kind of like, let me apply and just see. And
Yeah.
then boom, you got you and Brittany both got approved.
No, she was selected.
Okay, so she was okay. Gotcha.
I was picked up by a charity.
Okay, which
Yes.
I'll put that in
So
the link as well.
yeah, we need some donations on that charity.
Period.
And I thank y'all for the support. I am running for Team Emmerman Angels, which is an organization that benefits cancer research, providing resources for caregivers, patients, survivors. And the reason why that was important to me was because I had a brother who passed away at the age of 30 due to cancer. And I remember my mom being in Ohio, and there were a lot of resources that were around that really helped her with the caregiving for him, even in the moments where we were leading up to his decline. So that was something that just stood out at me. I was like, I can get behind this organization to raise money and run for them. So that's why that was important to me. And then I guess with regards to this whole marathon business, I guess I could say that I'm not really scared of nothing. So even though the 26.2 miles seems daunting, I'm not scared. Like
Mm.
I'm ready to train, and I want to see what the process looks like. And I'm like, let's see what we can do.
Hey, I mean, I'm just excited to just be witnessing this because
Yeah,
I think people don't realize you just don't strap on shoes one day and like, oh, let me just go do 26 miles. Like, it's a process. And
that's true.
I think because we've been able to watch a few people go through the process of training.
Hmm.
I think it's the moment you cross that finish line is even more precious because of the process that you got to go through.
Agreed. With it trying to grab my cup and spilling stuff.
So I am, as a friend, I am excited to just witness this because it ain't my
I'm glad
time
I'm
yet.
this too.
But I will be cheering. I will be in complete support, and I love the charity aspect of it. I know it's your time. I know it. The minute you said that you got accepted, I said, "This is his moment. This is your time." And I think, man, I feel it in my spirit. I feel like you just going when you do this marathon, people, who are you gonna help so many people? Not and you won't even realize it.
I think so too. I think so too. And you know what? I am good with that. Like I tell people all the time that one of the reasons whenever all of this comes to be, when people see me at these functions or at these events running, um, there's somebody out there who is like, can I do this? I want to get started. I don't know how. Um, And I want that person to know that when they see me cross that finish line, I want them to know that I came all this way for you.
Mm.
I came I came all this way just to show you that it's space out here for everybody and you can start as well. So that's why I don't mind when I hear that I'm inspiring a bunch of people. Now, I will say what gets me, and probably why it doesn't feel like I own it or embrace it, is because I really don't know. Like, I'm always surprised to see who was touched. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, even with the run to the word thing, or there's people that I have met solely just from the Instagram page and no other space in my life. And they came out and they was like, we heard about this, we saw a repost. I've met some people who I guess somehow my TikTok page got around to their feed. And
Wow.
I've never seen them a day in my life before. And it was like, oh, we saw this and this was so and so. So that part is humbling. It is eye opening. It is a lot of things when it's happening like that. So that's probably why. And it's not that I'm not owning it. It's just that the element of surprise is there for me. I'm like, wow, who would have
It's
thought?
new.
You know?
You know what? I think what it is too is your intentions were never to be an influencer. Your intentions were
Mm-mm.
like, this is just a goal of mine, and this is what I'm doing. And it's like, oh, it's like a wonderful surprise. Like, oh wow, like I didn't realize like my personal goal is helping this random stranger.
Exactly.
Telling you,
Exactly.
it's purpose.
Hold on.
Like,
Let me grab my wait.
okay,
Okay, I'm back.
um, I think
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. It's that. So I was like, I had no idea this was going to touch how many it's touched. Just like, I mean, just kind of like you in this podcast. Like, there's going to be people who are like listening and everything. So hold on. Can you see me?
yes, I can see you now.
I was like,
Um,
I was.
yeah, like that's it's funny because we're talking about like, oh, like it's I still I'm just this podcast is obedience. I did not want to pick this up again. I was like, nah, I'm good. Like I've done this before. And I said, all right, well, I feel a call. I heard a call. And I was like, let me obey. So I can only imagine who's going to listen to this.
Exactly. You never know. Your podcast might come across a Tim Ross. It might come across a Sarah Jakes Roberts. You just never know who might be listening.
You never know. And I'm a believer in the power of one. It just takes one moment to possibly change the trajectory of your life. And that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
standing on. I said, Lord, it's gonna take one, because it's funny, as I've been doing this, people have been like, you definitely could have a whole entire talk show. And I'm like, no, I can't. That's not me. I'm little old Alexis.
And then it turned into the Lexi show at 11 o'clock on ABC.
Hey,
That
wouldn't that be something? I'd be like, um, can I even do this? I don't even know. And you know me, I'm more of like the quiet one. I'm like the, hey, all right, I'm done. My social battery's over. But God don't, what's the saying? God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called.
right.
And that's what I stand on, because
Because that is what he would precisely do. He'd
and this is
like
to no shade. No shade to other people who are actual runners who have like an 8-minute mile, right? But there's something about seeing someone who has a 12-minute mile, 13-minute mile, and just that realness, that rawness that inspires more people than the person that's trying to be perfect.
yeah.
It doesn't, I don't care what realm it is, speaking, running, if you want to be the next Beyonce, whatever. People are touched more by that person that, hey, I'm not the best, but I keep on showing up. I
That's
keep on
true.
trying.
That is true. That is true. Now, there's value. Of course, there's value for everybody. We love our 8 minute mile people. We love our
We
5 minute.
do.
We do. We got love for it
I
all.
salute them.
But people are definitely inspired by like the stories you see, like kind of like mine, where it started as a 20-minute mile pace, and now we're down to like 12, 13. So people love those stories, and I love, but and I think that all of the stories have something to do with each other. Just like how I'm probably inspiring the 20-minute mile person, it's the 5 and 7 minute people that inspire me.
Hello.
So I feel like all of us have chain, like all of it is a chain that's connected.
Yes. Just like there's some people that have like a 10-minute mile. I was just saying after the race yesterday, I said, man, I would like to be at 11-minute mile this year, because why? I'm watching
Yeah.
other people who were at the 12 and 13. I'm like, oh, they're like at like
Hmm.
8 to 10-minute miles. I was like, I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we all inspire each other.
Yeah. And I think that's what it's about. So I find that to be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm just excited. I'm excited to just be a cheerleader on the side for you in this Chicago journey,
Yeah.
because this is big.
Yeah.
This is the one. What is it? The big six? One of the big six? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the big six,
So
which is
listen,
pretty cool. Who would have thought that I'd be doing a world major?
and this is your with ZFT. This is only your second year. Mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. Going into my second year. Yep.
I'm over here like,
Yep. But it does work when you get out there, and the thing is, when you get around the right environment that'll help you beef it up,
yes,
you'll want to beef it up. Now everything, everything is a people group, and so there's going to be a lot out there when you go to, because we're an aggregation of people.
yeah,
So there's going to be a lot out there, but when you connect with the right people who are on the same wave as you, trying to be better,
yeah.
trying to get faster, trying to get stronger, that's what makes the experience like that much more special.
Oh yeah. It's
The right connections.
the keyword is right, because you will always find, when you are focused. I'm a believer that when you're focused and you know what you want, your tribe comes. We find each other eventually,
Yeah,
you know? And I think you're a great example of the phrase faith without works is dead, right? You got faith, but you
yeah.
also put in the work. And
You have to put in the
together,
work.
you you smashing these goals, you are inspiring people, and that goes to show you, like, listen, you can have all the faith you want, but you got to show up.
You gotta show up.
You got to get into that room, you know?
Show up.
So,
That is so important. You definitely gotta show up.
have to. And there's been many times I've come to the runs and I'm just like, I want to be there, but I walk. I'm like, you know what? I
Hmm.
did something. And that's why I think
Yeah,
showing up is half the battle.
yeah,
I,
yeah. And showing up starts the battle too.
period.
That's how it's.
So,
That's how
um,
it's.
I'm just excited for you, and all the stuff that's about to happen this year. Like,
Yeah,
I think you're going to be in a whirlwind. I really just have this like feeling of like, come February, March, it's just going to be like a rocket for you. About it, and then it's going to be like that all the way to the marathon. After the marathon, it's your time. It's your time, friend.
I received that, friend. I really do. I received that.
It's your time.
I received that, and I'm hoping to be the essence of joy as I go through this process.
Your pictures are fabulous. I am low key jealous. Every race, your pictures, y'all, go to his Instagram, because every race photo is the essence of joy. I just, I love it.
Y'all,
Like,
y'all got to pay attention to when the camera people is out.
I do. Yesterday I tried. I hope we'll see. I tried to look cute.
Because there was there was a camera guy. I want to say it was on the right hand, like close to the end.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was all over that.
I could just see you. Just, you know.
Yeah, I was all over that. Once I saw that the camera person was out, I was like, oh yeah, this is the perfect time. Moved over to the right, made sure I was there. You just gotta make sure, like, yeah, we're there to run, and that is the most important. But when I see the camera,
You gotta capture
I
it, man.
give them something.
Give them something. And the
Yeah,
key is to let people, if there's people in front of you, I've learned, I let them go. Like, I will purposely slow down a little bit, let them go, and then I'm like, okay, let me have my moment.
exactly,
It's my new trick now.
exactly.
So
That's exactly.
I love it. Please go follow him, and you will see exactly what I'm saying. I every time that we get pictures, I'm like, oh, I know Mykey's is gonna be wonderful, and I'm gonna look like I'm dying because that's what happens every time.
You are so silly.
My goodness. But are there any last minute thoughts, encouragement for anybody who not just so much running, it could be running, but it could be life where they just don't know where to start. Any encouragement with that?
Yeah, yeah. Get out there. Just get up and get started with something, and also stay in your lane. Like today's message at church was about staying in your lane,
I
and not so much in the essence of just minding your business and not being nosy and all of that,
Right.
but it talked about how there's value in what your assignment is.
Mm,
There's value in the steps that you take. And it's necessary for you to pay attention to your lane, because if you are watching other folks, you're not doing the best in your lane. Your car could be veering all over the place and everything else. So I say get out there, and I say stay in your lane and enjoy the ride. Every day will not be a good day. Every day you will not feel like you're strong. As there are some times we get out there, whether in running or in life, it just wasn't the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? It just was not, but you got through it. And so it comes with the territory.
I love that. And it's very true
Yeah.
because when we try to cross over to other people's lanes because oh they're going faster or they look like they got a shortcut, guess what happens? We
I'm
might get in an
telling you,
accident.
you might. So you gotta focus on what you got going on.
I love that.
Not in the midst of your focusing on what you have going on, is it okay to glance about, what's around you? Yeah. Because if there's a hill coming, or if there's a dip in the road, it's good to see what's around you. There's no problem with that.
Right.
But the issue is don't let that consume you. Don't let that consume you at all.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
the man has spoken, y'all.
Okay.
Stay in your lane, embrace your journey. Embrace your journey, basically.
Embrace embrace your journey. The name of the podcast.
Hello.
Stay sane and embrace the journey.
Embrace the journey because it matters. Your journey matters. See how I did
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Boom.
Boom.
And so this is going to be every week. You're going to have something new for us.
Every week. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
So, um, I'm not sure when this will air. Um,
Okay,
but it will. But yeah, no, I appreciate you being on, and for the people, they gonna listen, and I'm gonna put all your information in the box below and all the
appreciate.
things. So guess what? I'm going to hound people to tell them you need to go follow Mykee and Run to the Word and donate to your Chicago Marathon Fund. All of it, okay?
Exactly.
Because when you sow a good seed,
That's it.
you get a harvest, honey. Okay? Let me
You
tell you.
do. And I'm going to tell the people they need to be embracing the journey and watching the podcast.
Because you never know. I might be the
And
next
this,
TV host.
you just gotta be, and this is so different for me because I don't usually do like podcasts and vlogging and stuff like that. I'm funny for reels. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
I'm good in that 2 minute mark, that
You are
30-second.
wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm like the real king. But to do a podcast and a vlog, like that's new territory for me. So this was really fun. And I really do hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. And I can't wait to hear from the others who have come before me and what they have to say, because you got some heavy hitters.
I do. I do. Well, I appreciate it. And again, to my listeners, all the information is below. Please go follow him, and you will understand your life. Your life is going to be blessed. That's all I'm going to say. So until next time.
Till next time.
We embrace the journey because your journey matters.
That's it.
So bye, everybody. Peace.
Bye.